In a busy distribution center, a worker walks on a moving conveyor belt to reposition packages. As he nears the discharge end, his footing becomes unsteady. Never, ever position yourself near the head pulley of an active conveyor system. On a loading dock, a worker stands on a large wooden crate resting on elevated forklift forks. As the forklift shifts slightly, the unsecured load crate begins sliding off. Never stand on an elevated forklift cargo as a work platform. Forklift forks are engineered to lift stabilized pallets, not to secure loose cargo supporting dynamic body weight. On a stone patio, a worker sets up an articulated ladder to reach a shade sail overhead. However, the ladder is configured incorrectly. Never, ever allow any part of a ladder other than its designated safety feet to contact the ground. This creates a low friction trap, where metal components can lose traction on smooth surfaces, while rubber feet are designed to grip and stabilize. Multi-position ladders must be configured so the flared base and rubber shoes fully support the load. On smooth surfaces, stabilizing mats or additional securing methods should be used to prevent unexpected repositioning. At a snowy construction site, a worker stands on a ladder guiding a crane-lifted roof panel. In an instant, the load shifts and drops out of level unexpectedly. Never attempt to manually control an unbalanced suspended load while standing on a freestanding ladder, and never rig a wide roof section without proper multi-point stabilization. A large, uneven roof panel is highly unstable when lifted from a single central point. To prevent this, supervisors and crane operators should use engineered multi-point spreader bars to keep the wide framing level before it leaves the ground. Ground crews should remain completely clear of the load movement zone and use long tag lines from a safe distance rather than trying to physically control the load from below. Inside a building lobby, a worker pulls a heavy stack of panels from an elevator as the doors close. A trailing strap gets caught, creating an unexpected situation. Never transport oversized, strapped materials in an elevator unless the doors are secured open and the entire load is clear of the threshold. If part of the load remains caught when the cab moves, the strap can create an unexpected tension point and cause the stack to move suddenly. To prevent this, workers should use designated freight elevators with manual door controls when moving oversized materials. If a load becomes caught in a closing door, release the load and move to a safe distance from the threshold. At a loading zone, a worker stands on a truck liftgate while moving a heavy crate. The moment the load comes off, the platform rebounds sharply upward. Never stand on a tension tailgate or suspended ramp while moving top-heavy freight, and never underestimate the upward rebound that occurs when a heavy load suddenly drops away. When the weight is removed, the stored energy in the vehicle suspension can be released suddenly. Receiving crews should use forklifts, dock levelers, or pallet jacks from stable ground instead of manually shifting heavy freight on a suspended ramp. Workers should also stay clear of the immediate transfer area and avoid standing on the tailgate pivot point. During transfer, on a factory floor, workers adjust a suspended metal die under a crane. Suddenly, the unstable load tips and shifts sideways. Never stand within the tip radius of a tall, top-heavy metal die or mold while adjusting crane rigging. A freestanding steel block has little lateral stability until lifting tension is properly centered and secured. Rigging crews should use bracing stands, blocking, or other engineered supports to secure top-heavy loads before attaching a crane hook. Everyone in the area should remain outside the movement zone during setup. A shifting steel load cannot be safely controlled by hand, and even a small shift in tension can cause a major instability event. In an industrial alley, a cargo trike drives through a hidden water-filled pothole. The sudden drop puts the heavy load off balance instantly. Never drive an overloaded or poorly balanced cargo vehicle through standing water or over unverified ground. This creates a serious stability and load shift hazard, especially for lightweight vehicles that depend on balanced weight distribution for steering control. Transport crews should place heavy loads as low and as far forward as possible to maintain traction and steering stability. Drivers should avoid puddles and flooded paths, since hidden holes or depressions can trap a wheel and suddenly shift the vehicle's balance. Poor load placement combined with uneven ground can quickly lead to loss of stability or load shift. Inside an auto shop, a mechanic sweeps in front of a parked car. The moment the vehicle moves forward, the broom handle snaps upward unexpectedly. Never move a vehicle inside a workshop without first clearing the area. And never sweep directly in the blind spot of an occupied car with the engine running. A tire catching a broom can instantly turn the handle into an unexpected moving hazard. Drivers should confirm that the path is clear and warn nearby workers before shifting out of park. Shop personnel should treat any occupied vehicle as active equipment and avoid standing directly in front of or behind it while cleaning. On an elevated platform, a worker steadies a swinging steel coil by hand. The heavy load suddenly shifts off-center and swings unexpectedly. Never stand in the swing path of a suspended, very heavy load, and never try to overpower shifting industrial freight by hand. Even at low speed, a steel coil can develop enough momentum to become a difficult-to-control pendulum. Rigging crews should use long tag lines to guide heavy suspended loads from a safe distance while keeping all personnel outside the swing radius. Workers on elevated platforms should also avoid positions where they could be caught between a moving load and the platform edge. Physical strength is not a substitute for proper load control. At a loading dock, a worker climbs onto a truck as it suddenly reverses. The clearance between the vehicle and the platform disappears quickly. Never position yourself between a reversing flatbed truck and a fixed loading ramp. And never approach the rear of a running vehicle without direct confirmation from the driver. Blind spots behind commercial vehicles make these areas especially dangerous. Facilities should enforce pedestrian exclusion zones and require trained spotters whenever heavy vehicles are backing toward a dock. Ground personnel should make eye contact and communicate clearly with the driver before entering any loading area. The space between a moving truck and a solid ramp can close quickly and become a high-risk pinch point. Inside an active commercial service bay, mechanics work close to a fully loaded transport truck raised for maintenance. A shift in weight distribution creates a clear stability concern. Never perform maintenance on or stand beside a fully loaded, top-heavy commercial truck while it is raised on improperly secured lifting supports. When a vehicle's weight is not fully supported in the correct way, even a small shift in load, suspension, or lifting position can quickly create a major stability issue. To prevent this, crews should fully unload heavy commercial vehicles and stabilize the suspension before major lifting or axle work begins. Facilities should also use certified heavy-duty lifts or properly rated jack stands designed for the vehicle's weight. To keep learning from these important workplace safety lessons, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications. Stay aware, stay safe.